What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new season here in the NFL. Got a lot of good stuff to get through today. One thing I want to hit is the depth charts. I think there's some things on there that are like, it's an unofficial depth chart. So it's like, okay, this is a thing, but it's not going to be a thing. Start of the season, week one. So obviously, last season I did a lot of stuff covering like training camp and all that, but I was just like, nah, we're just gonna start right before and kind of just jump into it. So the first thing I want to get into is I've got a list of stats here. Hold on, give me 1 second while I pull this up. So going to hit NFL stats, like the key things for certain players who have reached the top 250 players of their stat category, but it's going to be like the big stats, yards, touchdowns, sacks, that kind of thing. So, NFL passing yards, Joe Burrow has 19,001 yards in his career. That puts him at 128 in the league for passing yards. Has 140 touchdowns, putting him at 105th for that stat, and he actually has more touchdowns career wise. He passed him last year, which is awesome. Receiving touchdowns. He's not on the receiving yards list yet, but he will probably be there this year. Fairly quickly into it. Um, yeah, matter of fact, he should be in there like week 1 or 2. But Jamar Chase has 46 touchdowns in his career, putting him at 181st place in the league. And then another league-wide one, Trey Hendrickson, with his 77 career sacks. To include his time with the Saints, he's in 88th place. So going just Bengals stats, we know I just read off Joe Burrow's. He's in 5th place in both passing and yards and touchdowns for the Bengals all time. Chase Brown, he has 1,169 yards, and that puts him at 26th place. 26th place all time for the Bengals. He also has 7 touchdowns, putting him at 31st place for rushing touchdowns. Receiving yards, we got Jamar Chase, 5,425 yards. That puts him in 10th all time for the Bengals. T. Higgins, 4,000. And this is just the starting pass catchers for right now. As the season goes along, you all have seen in the past streams that I've done. I'm going to go through and kind of I'll make sure that I do every player that has stats. But T. Higgins, 4,595 yards, 13th place. Yoshi, 595, 76th. Mike Gesicki, 665 and 68th place. And then for their touchdowns, we got Jamar, 46, like I said before. He's in 5th place all time for Bengals touchdowns. T. Higgins, 34 touchdowns. That puts him at 11th place. Yoshi has 10. That puts him at 33rd. So he's still got a ways to go, but he had a big season last year in touchdowns, so I'm expecting a similar season this year. Gesicki only has 2 touchdowns, putting him in 82nd. I'm hoping he gets a bit more touchdowns this year, but we'll see how it plays out. And then Trey Hendrickson, he has 57 sacks for us, 6th place all time. He needs like 30 something more to break the Bengals record, which means he's going to need to play 2 more seasons at least. Unless he has 2 more, seasons where he's the league leader in sacks. Then, he'll definitely get it without a third being needed. Next, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to pull that depth chart up for the Bengals. We'll be able to take a look at that real quick. So obvious ones, Jamar Chase, Yoshi, T. Higgins. Those are our 3 receivers. That's easy. Similar to last year, they had Drew Sample. Drew Sample is at the number one tight end, but we know that Mike Gesicki is really the one, and they're just utilizing him in different ways. Noah Fant, Tanner Hudson, Cam Grandy, they're all that third tight end spot, but most of them will get playing time, I'm sure. It's just the way we do things. I thought that was bothering me. All right. Left tackle, Orlando Brown, that's obvious. Left guard, rookie Dylan Fairchild, that's obvious. Ted Karras, sorry, at second. Or goodness, at center. And then Amarius Mims at right tackle. Makes perfect sense. Lucas Patrick at right guard though, I think that's just that's what I was saying at the beginning. There's one of those unofficial things because there's no way you don't put Dalton Reisner as the number one guy after not giving up sacks in 2 years. Like, come on now. But he's listed as the second right now. I think they'll get a week of practice in with him and he'll be the starter week one. If not, definitely week two. QB, Joe Burrow, obviously, my guy. And then Chase Brown, running back. He's the starter. That's obvious as well. Left defensive end's a little interesting. You could go Shamar Stewart, but we go Joseph Osai. He's been here a while now. I think his sixth year, maybe? Something like that. TJ Slayton and BJ Hill on the inside. Trey Henderson on the opposite edge. Obvious. Logan Wilson and Demetrius Knight taking over for Jermaine Pratt. That trade, I feel like I'm not happy he's gone. Because he was a great leader in the locker room. He was a good linebacker. But the fact of the matter is he was done in Cincy. He did not want to be there anymore. So trading him, get the value out of him. Or actually, I think we cut him. Yeah, we cut him. We did not trade him. So I forgot that little detail. Moving on, because that's just sad. That's just sad news right there. And obviously, I don't think I made a video or a short or anything about Sam Hubbard retiring. That was a shocker to me. I think that injury, his only passing or receiving touchdown of his career, he was just like, I'm done after that injury, which is fair. That was a pretty serious injury, so can't be mad at the guy. Slot corner, Dax Hill. Yeah, we saw that one coming. Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Turner, Geno Stone, Jordan Battle. You would see all them being the starters in the secondary. It just makes sense with the personnel we have. Punter, Ryan Rico, obvious. Evan McPherson, kicker, obvious. William Wagner surprised me a little bit because the Bengals typically go with the incumbent on a lot of their special teams. So having a change at long snapper is a little surprising, especially since Kyle Adamitis didn't do bad last year, but things happen. Charlie Jones is the returner on both sides of the ball. So, not too many surprises there. And obviously, I think once the official depth chart comes out for week one, we're going to see some changes to that. Next thing, I'll kind of go through this fast because I have a lot I want to hit. The next thing, I've already put my predictions in, but I want to show y'all. Bengals, Browns. You already know. Hold on, let me turn this brightness down. I got to remember. Dang, the Bengals they're just bright today. Already know, y'all. We got the Bengals winning. Come on now. Joe Flacco, get this old man out of here. I may eat those words later, but we'll see. I got the Eagles winning. After the Micah trade, the Cowboys are cooked. There's no way they're beating the Eagles. Chargers and Chiefs. I got the Chargers. I still feel like the Chiefs I got the Chiefs. I still feel like the Chargers are a little. They're the team that's least likely to beat the Chiefs because they just do extra stuff that's not necessary when they could win the game. They just fear the Chiefs a little too much, in my opinion. Bucks and Falcons. I got the Bucks. I actually think the Falcons are going to be a pretty solid team, but I'm just not entirely sold on what they're going to be at the beginning of the season. And the Bucks were a very good team last year. They got healthy. I mean, Chris Godwin's going to be out, but you got a Mecca Ibuka coming in too. So I mean, they're going to be fine. Their defense is still pretty good. So quarterback's still Baker Mayfield, and Baker's going to bake. Dolphins, Colts. I got the Dolphins. I'm not a big believer in the Colts this year. Anthony Richardson was we might as well call him a bust at this point. And Daniel Jones coming in as a starter, I don't see that going well. This is my first one I'm not entirely sure on. I'm going Raiders over Patriots, but I mean, it really might come down to which one of those rookie running backs plays better in the game and which defense makes sure that they're limited. I got the Raiders just because I think Genty's going to be the better back than Henderson this year, but we'll see. And who knows? Maybe he's overrated as hell. We'll see. We shall see. I got the Cardinals over the Saints. The Saints are probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. We saw Spencer Rattler play some last year. He was rattled the whole time, freaking out. I don't expect a lot from him. I don't expect a lot from the Cardinals either, but just the Saints' overall roster is worse than the Cardinals. And I feel like Kyler Murray has to do something, right? Eventually, he's got to do something. Steelers, Jets. I got the Steelers here. It's a Justin Fields revenge game, but I think the defense is going to be a little bit too much for him to overcome. I think I'm seeing that pretty good. Commanders, Giants. I got the Commanders in this one. Just Jaden Daniels and that offense is going to be too much for the Giants right now. But if they meet like the end of the year or like the mid back, I feel like the Giants will have a much better shot because I don't think the Giants are going to be trash. I just don't think a week one against the Commanders is going to be good for them. Panthers, Jaguars. I've got the Panthers here. First underdog team I'm going. Well, actually, technically, the Raiders aren't the favorite, but I want to call them an underdog. So I've got the Panthers. We saw some things from Bryce Young last year. And I'm not going to just be out here like, okay, those last 5 games is what he's going to be to start the year or anything. But I think you can trust the way the Panthers developed him. You know, they started him too early. That was their own fault. But they fixed it, put him below Dalton, let him develop a little bit. He came back and he was playing pretty good. Not the first game back, but he eventually got into a groove and was playing well. I think we're gonna see first round, like finally we're gonna see one of these first, other than Joe Burrow, obviously, Baker. We're going to see one of these recent first overall pick quarterbacks actually do something in Bryce Young because Kyler didn't get it done. They started him off rip and he was not getting developed the way he needed to. And then he just started playing Call of Duty and not doing things. So I feel like Bryce Young has put in a lot of work. You got Ted McMillan coming over, and I feel like Trevor Lawrence is overrated. I don't even know if I could say that. I feel like the public opinion is that he's just not great. But we'll see. I think the Panthers will get it done. The next one, I've got the Denver Broncos beating Cam Ward and his Titans. I just don't think this is going to be a very good test. Like a week one against one of the best defenses in the league for a rookie quarterback, that's not going to go well. Not saying Cam is trash. I actually like Cam Ward, but I feel like we saw in the preseason a little bit he likes to feed Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley's probably going to get clamped by. Can't believe this man's name is escaping my brain at the moment. Give me 1 second, because I cannot disrespect people like this. Where is he at? Where's he at? Because I can't be doing this. Well, what is his name? It's crazy because he's the best corner in the league right now. I cannot think of his name for the life of me. Give me 1 second. Broncos corner depth chart. Ridiculous. Pat Surtain. Why his name was escaping my mind, I don't know. But it was disrespectful as hell of me. My fault, y'all. He's gonna clamp Calvin Ridley, I feel. Um, you know, maybe Calvin Ridley gets open a little bit, but maybe Cam Ward finds some of his other receivers a bit more. But I think, just the overall defense is going to be a bit much for a rookie quarterback starting out. The next game, 49ers, Seahawks. I got the 49ers in this one. They're healthy to start the very beginning of the season. They're healthy. I don't see the Seahawks doing much with Sam Darnold. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Sam Darnold is trash anymore. But he also doesn't have an O line. Like he's gonna be back to Jets scrambling for his life. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Because he only has JSN. I can't even think there are other receivers. I just don't think the Seahawks offense is going to be good enough. Even if the 49ers defense isn't like player, like, skill, personnel wise, is what I'm trying to say. Personnel wise, their defense is not as good as, the last few years, the last 2, 3, 4 years. Their schemes and the things that they do is going to be enough. Robert Saleh was their coach, I believe, when they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Not the recent one, but the one before. So, I mean, it's pretty clear in my eyes. Lions Packers. I've got the Lions. It's going to be interesting with Micah Parsons going over there. Possibly the best division in the league this year. I'm going to go the Lions just because I think Micah hasn't been over there long enough. Even though he's going to make an immediate impact, he hasn't learned the scheme that the Packers are going to use, and they probably don't know fully how they're going to use him. Plus, he is going to have to take some kind of supplements or something in order to play. I think some kind of shots or something because of his back injury, but I think they're just going to get off to a bit slower start than the Lions will. Even though the Lions do have two new coordinators, it could be one way or the other. But that one's definitely going to be probably game of the week, honestly. That's probably going to be game of the week. The next one, I got the Texans beating the Rams. Why the Rams are a favorite here, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know. We don't know what's going on with Matthew Stafford. Is he okay? Is he not? His back could be just decimated. The Texans are not going to be trash. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like they just got two really good rookie wide receivers. They already have Nico. Like they're gonna be chilling. I think it's Christian Kirk is there too, who's not bad either. And then obviously they'll have Tank Dell. Nick Chubb is not going to be trash. I don't know why everyone keeps talking. Like, okay, I get it. That injury was insane, but this is Nick Chubb. He gonna put in the work. He gonna make sure he's right. There's no way you're telling me this questionable Rams team, even if they end up being good at the end of the season, like week one they are questionable, is gonna lose to the Texans. I get CJ Stroud had the slump. They were injured as hell last year. So I think they're gonna be fine. The Texans are gonna be a good playoff team again this year, and it's gonna be crazy. Next, Baltimore and Buffalo. I hate to say it, but I got Baltimore. I love that, they're not the favorite. That's great for me. But I just I this is gonna be the MVP battle. Honestly, as a Bengals fan, it hurts to say Lamar probably should have won the MVP last year. So I mean, I can see the Ravens getting this one, but it's is another candidate for game of the week. It's going to be really hard to predict. I just think that the running game for Baltimore is going to outweigh the passing game for Buffalo. Even though they did bring Gabe Davis back, I just don't know. Vikings Bears, easily going Vikings here. I don't see the Bears being very good this year. I think Caleb Williams will step forward, but he ain't gonna be what they need him to be. Not this year. He might be another one of those stories like Bryce Young where you got to rest him. You got to bench him at some point. Now, the difference is they had a proven backup in Andy Dalton, who was a starter for years. Who's Caleb Williams' backup? I don't even know. So you got to just play the young man. Simple as that. Hopefully, he ain't throwing fits or nothing, but we'll see. But that's my game predictions. Let's go to my next app. I'd be so sad if all these predictions went away. Okay, they did not. Everything is saved. Perfect. So I got my conference standings here. So the 7 playoff teams on the AFC. I've got Buffalo number 1. Yeah, I got 2 17-0 teams. I know they ain't gonna be 17-0. I'm just looking team by team on their roster. And I already said the Ravens winning. So obviously the Bills ain't gonna be 17-0. So I got the Bills 1 seed. I got the Broncos 2, the Texans 3, and the Ravens 4. So the Bengals, yes, we lose the division, but we have the exact same record as the Ravens. We end up as the 5th seed. And then there's with 12, I have us going 12-5. And I've got the Chiefs and the Steelers taking those last 2 spots. So everyone in our division is going to make it except for the Browns, and the Steelers make it with a 9-8 record. Classic Mike Tomlin. On the other side, I got Detroit as the 1 seed. That's the other undefeated team. Are they going to be undefeated? Probably not. Not in that division. There's no way. I got San Francisco as the 2. Philly is the 3. I know that's crazy, but I foresee a bit of a dip from them this year. But they're still going to be like the most dangerous. possibly the most dangerous team in the playoffs in the NFC. The Bucks, I got them winning their division, fourth seed. Commanders fifth, Packers sixth. And even with Micah, this may have adjusted some things, but they're in there. Whatever. This is kind of just like this is week one stuff. Just throwing it out there. I got the Vikings as the 7th seed as well. Let's see. Based off of this, I have 4 teams with 2 or less wins in the NFC and none in the AFC. So I think the NFC is going to be weak at the bottom, but it's going to be top heavy. Because there's not a team below 11 wins in the playoffs for them, and there's 2 9-win teams in the AFC in the playoffs based off of my predictions. Next thing I want to get to is some QB rankings. And honestly, one of these already needs to change. I did these prior to the depth charts being placed, but it does not change their positions at all. I've got Spencer Rattler as the number 32 quarterback. It was Tyler Show, but obviously Rattler won the job. Excuse me. Then I go from here, I go rookies or unproven players. So Cam Ward's 31, McCarthy is 30. We haven't seen them play a single snap of regular season football. Then I have, I had Anthony Richardson here, but I think this is a fine spot to put Daniel Jones. Don't expect a lot from him. Then I got Caleb Williams above him. Bryce Young is here, but it's because I want to see what I think he's going to be. I'm not just going to jump him up there just because I think he's going to be something. I'm looking at it like, all right, we know what he can be. Can he not be that and be the great QB he was for like 5 weeks? He almost beat the Chiefs, and I think he almost beat the Eagles too. Then I got Michael Penix. We saw him for a bit more playing better for a bit longer last year than Bryce Young. So that's why I got him there. And then I bring Joe Flacco in, the veteran, but he's getting older. I don't see him being a highly productive player. Give me 1 second. My apologies, y'all. Had to go get that charger for my laptop. Did not realize it was about to die. All right. Then I got Justin Fields. I think we need to see what he's going to be as a Jet. He wasn't bad last year as a Steeler. I think his line wasn't great there. But I want to see, the Jets are an interesting team. They just are. Because I could see it going very similar to the way the Bears went for him, but I feel like they will develop around him a bit better than the Bears did. Then I got Drake May. Maybe putting May over Fields is a bit much, but I think he had a good rookie year. All right, well, let's not say good. Let's say decent. He had a decent rookie year. And I think that he's going to build on that. I'm a Drake May supporter. They got some weapons for him. They went out and got Stephon Diggs. I think he's going to be all right this year. I know I was just calling Trevor Lawrence like overrated and stuff. I do have him here at 22 because I don't think he's like trash, but he's not a number 1 overall pick. Then I got Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he's going to drop. as the year goes on, some of these younger quarterbacks are going to pass him. Sam Darnold at 20. I think this is more so, can you be the Vikings quarterback on the Seahawks? Like, can you do that with an even worse O line? In even worse receiver room? You know, can you continue that success? And if the answer is yes, he's going to jump up for sure. Because Kyler Murray is the quarterback above him, and he's another one of the quarterbacks I think I'm going to have dropping on my list as the year goes on, just because I don't see the high value in him. Like I think he's going to drop because he's going to continue to play like he has the last 6-7 years of his career. Next, I got Dak Prescott. He's got two receivers that can honestly elevate him higher on the list now. It's just a matter of A, can you stay healthy? Which I'm not, I don't do rankings based off of health. But the fan base, every year the Cowboys are, oh, this is our year, this is our year, that whole thing. I don't think that's happening this year. I haven't heard a single Cowboys fan say anything but we traded Micah. No. Yeah, that's all I heard from them. That's it. They are not happy. They're not happy people right now. So, I mean, I don't know that the Cowboys are going to be great. That doesn't affect the offense, but they don't have a running game. So, I mean, teams with a good secondary are going to make it really hard. And then if they have a decent pass rush on top of it, I don't think Dak is going to have the year that he would if they had a running game, which maybe they will. It's just unproven backs. Then I put Russell Wilson at 17. I think he's finally found a place where he can be good. As weird as that is. Okay, he was very good on the Seahawks. Like, don't get me wrong. Broncos, trash. Steelers, mid. I think he could be good on the Giants. Again, he can run. He has Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors alone is going to elevate Russell Wilson. So I don't necessarily think it's that Russell Wilson will get back to like being good himself, but he'll have the team around him to become good again. Got Geno Smith next. He might be one that drops. I don't know. He's got Pete Carroll there. He's got a running game. The receiving core is a little questionable there. So they just brought in Amari Cooper. He's going to be a starter. They've got Jacoby Myers. He's going to be a starter. He's not bad. I'd say he's mid tier for receiver, which isn't bad for to say mid tier for a receiver isn't a bad thing. Because there's so many receivers, so that mid tier is like probably the equivalent of like a above average quarterback or running back. But it's just mid for a receiver because there's just too many. You can't put them all in good category. That just doesn't make sense. So he should be able to do some things with that. And obviously Brock Bowers, like that's going to be a big weapon for him. So you bring in some other targets. Amari Cooper can do some things, but they can't just double Brock every time. Or if they do, somebody else is going to get open. I'm not a big Herbert guy. I got him at 15. I think he's going to drop. I think he has the best chance since his rookie year to kind of prove himself. They have Lad McConkey. They have Trey Harris. They brought Keenan Allen back. Keenan Allen's old man, but the Chargers know how to use him. So I think he can have a decent season, but I think he's going to prove me wrong as well. Got Tua at 14. We're not gonna call Tua like trash. We're just not. He gets hurt a lot, yeah. And when he gets concussed, he plays like absolute garbage after. But when he's healthy, he is great. And right now he's healthy. So he's number 14. They got Bo Nix at 13. You know, he played excellent at the end of the year. He has an argument for the top 10, but just I don't want to do 1 year. Let me put you in the top 10. Although I think I may have done it for, I may have put Jane Daniels in the top 10. That may make more sense than Bo Nix. But I think Bo Nix will be a top five. Top five is a little steep. Top 10 quarterback by the end of the year for me. Got him at 13 right now, so that's not too crazy to say. Goff is 12. I think Goff is a good quarterback, but he needs pieces around him. And right now he has the pieces. So 12 is good, but I don't think he elevates the team. So I'm just put him at 12. You know, maybe he has to do some things that like change my mind about him, but that's where I'm looking at it right now. Nope, number 11, Jane Daniels. I knew I didn't put any rookies in the top or second year quarterbacks in the top 10. I don't like doing that. So Jane Daniels, outstanding quarterback, but I don't like putting a second year quarterback, even if they had a wonderful rookie year. Because look at Herbert, great rookie year, fell off. So I don't want to put too much pressure on the young man's shoulders. Jordan Love, I got him at 10. I think he's one that can quickly fall out of my top 10, or he can maintain his spot. But he's got to prove some things. I think he's a good quarterback, but he hasn't done what, I don't want to say what he should be doing, but after two or 3 years now as a starting quarterback, he hasn't had the success that we're all hoping for. I know there's injuries and other things that have gone into that as well, though. Got Jalen Hurts at 9. He can prove me wrong, but Jalen Hurts, while he is a good quarterback, obviously he just won the Super Bowl. We're not going to act like without Saquon, they're winning that Super Bowl. We're not going to act like without that defense, they're winning the Super Bowl. We need to see him be able to take a higher workload of the passing game and do some things. Because, yes, he had a whole bunch of rushing touchdowns, but how many of those were tush pushes from the 1 yard line? Like, you'd give a QB sneak. Same thing. I ain't going to give quarterback credit for all that. Got Brock Purdy at 8. I want to see what he does. Like, I feel like this is his, like, prove it year. Everyone's like, oh, without his weapons, without his weapons. Okay, we'll give that to you. We'll put him at 8. But if he plays the same way with Brandon Ayuk out, with Jawan Jennings out for part of the season, he's got Kittle, great tight end, obviously number one tight end in the league right now. Close with Bowers probably for like their current production, but I think GK is still the number one guy. But you got Ricky Pearsall, who should be good, but second year guy. And then I think it's just old men after that. Like for their current starters, like MVS, they just brought somebody up. They cut somebody from the practice squad. They want to bring him into the starting roster, but like their receivers aren't great. So that's my point. Like he has the opportunity to prove, hey, I'm the guy. I'm the one doing this. This isn't some system quarterback stuff. This isn't some, oh, they got weapons around me. No, this is the year you need to prove what you are. Matthew Stafford, I got him at 7. We'll see with the back. That might really hurt his rankings for this year. Not saying injury history. That's not. We're not doing that. But like this year, just like Joe Burrow when he was hurt, he wasn't playing at the same level last year, at the beginning of last year with that hamstring injury. So with the back injury, man, you can see that going bad. Gosh, C.J. Stroud at 6. The sophomore slump was a thing, but so were all the injuries. He's going to be back in that conversation. Now he slumps again, he's dropping. And next year he won't be number 6. Baker at 5, arguably, like from a pure passing standpoint, you take the rushing yards out of it. He was on par with, Burrow, Lamar. So, like, he was probably number 3 quarterback in passing, pure passing last year. Then I got Mahomes. Do I actually think Mahomes is a top 5 quarterback last year? Hell no. But he's gonna have better receivers this year. And I just don't see the slump continuing. I hope I'm wrong because I can't stand the Chiefs. But I don't see it continuing. I got Lamar at 3, but I really don't know. Like Lamar and Josh Allen, I literally said like at the beginning of the stream, like Lamar should have won the MVP. But he's a better runner. But with a boost to Allen's receiving core, Allen has an opportunity to be a better passer this year with the running stuff. So that's kind of where I'm looking at with that. Allen's my 2. Burrow is my number 1. He would have been the MVP last year if the Bengals made the playoffs. Guaranteed. Like he would have easily been the MVP with his numbers if we had made the playoffs. Opoy for Jamar is a little questionable just because the Saquon was the thing. But Depoy probably would have been Trey Hendrickson. Just saying. Sorry about that, y'all. My nose was itching. So that's my QB rankings. Y'all can chop that to bits. I'm fine with it. It's going to change. It's going to be very fluid. I think we got through quite a bit today. And later today, I'm going to do a couple of fantasy drafts. I won't be able to show it on like the stream. You'll be seeing my face, and then I'll like kind of walk you through what I'm talking about. And I'll show you, who got drafted and whatnot, and who's going. We'll talk through it. But there's a lot going into this season. I'm definitely going to be doing a bit longer episodes than I was last year. I know it ended up getting to like 10 minutes or less per episode because I was just like, bro, the Bengals trash. What the hell? I'm going to try not to do that this year if we're bad again. I don't think we will be, though. I hope not. The defense just needs to show me a little bit of something and we'll be chilling. But that's going to do it for this one, I think. Excuse me. We'll definitely review a bit more of the games next. I mean, I'm not going to review preseason. I'm not a big fan of preseason in general. So, yeah, we're just going to keep it moving past that. But, yeah, we're going to get out of here. Who did all you Bengals fans out there? I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.